Artificial intelligence, AI, there's a lot of buzz around this topic right now. And we've covered AI on the channel before. We did a video series a couple years back, but two things on that. Number one, AI has evolved a lot over the last couple years. And number two, that series was focused more on speculative stocks, trying to give you stocks in each sector. In this video today, I'm gonna give you my top 10 AI stocks that are high conviction and more pick and shovel type plays. Now, we just released session 3 of the Fired Up Wealth Conference, and that was focused on portfolio design and blueprints. And in that video, I did an exercise. I mapped out all the secular growth trends, all the mega trends within technology that we're gonna have over the next 5 and 10 years. And one thing you'll notice very quickly is all these mega trends, when you think of autonomous vehicles, robotics, 5G, space exploration, cybersecurity, metaverse, whatever comes to mind, genomics, all of these secular growth trends, these disruptive technologies, they rely really on two things. Number one, semiconductors, the new oil. And number two, cloud services. When you think of AI, it requires a tremendous amount of computing power. And so what solutions, what platforms, what technologies, pick and shovel type plays can we invest in to capitalize on this mega trend of artificial intelligence? This is gonna be a 2-part series. You wanna make sure you subscribe and click that bell to get notifications. This video drops now. There's another one dropping tomorrow at the same time. What I'm gonna do in the beginning here is I'm gonna give you an overview of AI. I'm gonna give you some statistics, some really powerful data. I'm gonna explain to you the different types of artificial intelligence, and then I'm gonna give you 10 stock picks as well as some bonus picks. You're gonna love this one, guys. Let's dig into AI. Some of these stats that I'm gonna share with you guys, it's gonna blow your mind. Do chatbots, robots, and digital assistants intrigue you? What about autonomous vehicles and virtual assistants? They're all part of artificial intelligence. It's a very broad and diverse term. So the simplest way to explain AI, it's the field of computer science that focuses on the creation of a machine that can replace human behavior. So think robotics, big data, virtual digital assistants, all the mega trends that you can think of, they're gonna tie into AI. AI is an absolutely huge mega trend over the next decade. So some mind-boggling stats for you. AI-powered voice assistants to reach 8 billion by 2023. Now, the global AI market is projected to reach $1.58 trillion by 2030. That's a compound annual growth rate from 2021 to 2030 of 38%. Global GDP, or gross domestic product, will grow by $15.7 trillion by 2030 thanks to AI. AI startups, you think venture capital, this is one of the huge buzzwords right now in venture capital. It grew 14 times over the last 2 decades, and startups grew 6 times since 2000. As of right now, 77% of the devices that we use feature one form of AI or another. So by 2024, just next year, the global AI market will grow to over $500 billion US. It will contribute to 26% of China's GDP by 2030. Now look at this growth from 2021 to 2030. I mean, the growth is amazing. Just look at how that's scaling. So nowadays, 77% of businesses are either using or exploring AI. How can we capitalize on this? How can we make money in our portfolios with AI? So of course, larger companies are adopting AI faster than smaller companies, but I think that'll change with time. Chinese and Indian companies have the highest level of AI adoption at almost 60%. In 2022, last year, 53% of IT companies across the globe reported they have accelerated AI adoption over the last 2 years. So 15% of enterprises are using AI now, and 31% say it's in their agenda for the next year. That's a lot of growth, a lot of room for growth. Number of AI startups since 2000 has increased 14 times. 72% of business executives believe that AI will be one of the most significant competitive advantages moving forward. 27% of executives say that their organizations plan to invest in AI cybersecurity safeguards. So think CrowdStrike, you think Zscaler, you think Cloudflare, there's a bunch of them. And cybersecurity is really a segment under cloud and SaaS, of course. 40% of digital transformations and 100% of initiatives based on the Internet of Things, IoT, will be supported by AI. Think about connected devices, autonomous vehicles, everything. In the future, it's all Internet of Things. Even your refrigerator is connected to the Internet if you buy a new refrigerator. Everything, Internet of Things, everywhere, AI drives all of this. Financial services are the future of AI. About 250 million cars were predicted to have internet connection by the end of 2020. It's 2023, and I think moving forward, within the next few years, every car is gonna come standard with internet connectivity. This is huge for AI, and I think it's overlooked a lot. You think of robotics, for automation, machine and asset management in manufacturing takes 29% of AI automation, but there's a lot of room for growth there. AI implementation in consumer packaged goods has led to a 20% reduction in forecast errors. 70% of manufacturers still have not adopted digital operating systems. Lots of room for growth. So global AI in the retail market predicted to be valued at $31.18 billion by 2028. So back in 2021, 73% of retailers plan to introduce AI to optimize pricing. 75% of companies plan to use AI to eliminate fraud. Amazon used machine learning to reduce its click-to-ship time to 15 minutes. That's a 225% decrease. 87% of AI adopters say they're using it or considering it for sales forecasts and to improve their email marketing. Now, one thing that people talk about a lot is, will AI and robots take over jobs? Now, it's estimated here that 85 million jobs worldwide could potentially be replaced by AI or automation technologies by 2025. Intelligent robots could replace 30% of the human workforce globally by 2030. It'll automate 16% of American jobs. 370 million people have to switch careers by 2030. Is your career AI proof? Now, with all that said, 52% of experts believe that as much as automation will replace jobs and displace them from careers, it'll create and innovate new jobs. What does that look like? And how will AI impact education? You think of ChatGPT. That's really in its infancy. What does that look like? Is it going to start, writing papers for you? Is it going to start replacing teachers? Machine learning predicted to grow by 48% in the automotive industry. So this is really interesting, guys. Google's machine learning program is 89% accurate. That's 15% more effective than pathologists. In 2017, Netflix saved $1 billion using machine learning, also known as ML. 36% of executives say their primary goal for incorporating AI is to optimize internal business operations, make things more effective and more efficient. Now, 20% of current C-suite executives are using machine learning, but there's a lot of growth there, only 20%. According to Accenture, AI technology can enhance business productivity by up to 40%. 47% of established organizations have defined an AI strategy for mobile. What does that look like going forward? 41% of consumers believe that AI will improve their lives in some way. And only 33% of consumers think they're actually using AI now, but it's probably a lot bigger number than that. 84% of global business organizations believe that AI will give them a competitive advantage. And only 17% of email marketers in 2018 were using artificial intelligence. That number has grown significantly. The Washington Post has an AI writer, and it wrote more than 850 stories during the Rio Olympics. This was in 2016. 47.97% of mobile users are already using AI-powered voice assistants. More than 4 billion devices already work on AI-powered voice assistants. When you think of voice assistants, you don't maybe think of AI because it's such a broad term, and you might think about just robots, or everybody might have a different vision of what artificial intelligence is, but it's such a broad and diverse topic. Nearly half of Americans right now use digital voice assistants. My house, I have an Alexa in every room, and I use it every single day. So right now, 23% of customer service organizations are using AI chatbots. 85% of customer relationships with business enterprises will be managed without human involvement. And some people would say that's a bad thing because they want to talk to a human. But according to this, 38% of consumers on a global level prefer to use chatbots. So that means there's a big percentage that don't. And again, what is artificial intelligence? The simulation of human intelligent processes by machines, more specifically computer systems. So again, let's think about pick and shovel type plays, computer systems, software platforms, semiconductors, cloud services, those type of companies. Because the reality, guys, artificial intelligence cannot operate without processing an enormous amount of data. In order to do that, you need data centers and supercomputers. So that requires cloud services. And all of that requires semiconductors. So here's the timeline of AI. This goes back to 1943. If you're younger, you might not realize, that some of this technology has been around for a little while. The term artificial intelligence was created in 1956 by John McCarthy. He coined the term artificial intelligence. A top-down approach was dominant at the time, pre-programming a computer with the rules that govern human behavior. 1969, Shaky the Robot. 1968, A Space Odyssey. 1973, AI Winter. Narrow AI 1981, Bottom-up approach 1990. This is big. 1997, Deep Blue. This is a supercomputer by IBM. And it beat a world chess champion at a game of chess. In 2002, which I didn't realize that Roombas were around in 2002, but iRobot created the first robot for home, autonomous vacuum cleaner. Then you got the Big Dog, you got the Google app, you got dancing robots. So in 2011, you got IBM again with Watson, and it went on Jeopardy and won against two best performers all time of the show. So in 2014, Google invested $1 billion in driverless cars. So types of AI, there's two main classifications. There's strong AI and there's weak AI. Strong AI, aka artificial general intelligence, an AI system with generalized human cognitive abilities. When presented with an unfamiliar task, it has enough intelligence to find a solution on its own. Weak AI, also called narrow AI, is an AI system that's designed and trained for a particular task. So think of like Apple Siri, Amazon Alexa, and so on. Other ways to classify AI, again, it's a very deep and broad topic. You got reactive machines, limited memory, theory of mind, self-awareness. This is where you start thinking about Terminator, right? And robots taking over the world, self-awareness. So machines with self-awareness that can understand their current state and use the information to infer what others are feeling. This type of AI does not exist yet, but I think we're really close. So let's talk next about some examples of AI technology, because this might help us identify companies and stocks to invest in for our portfolio. So robotic process automation, RPA, does that sound familiar? There's one stock in particular that focuses on RPA that we'll talk about, and it's one of the top 10 picks. Machines programmed to perform high volume, repeatable tasks that normally are performed by humans. This simplifies their jobs so they can, in theory, work on more important things. Machine vision, this is using cameras and digital signal processing. Machine learning, this is the science of getting a computer to act without programming. Deep learning is a subset of this, can be thought as the automation of predictive analytics. And then there's natural language processing. Think of text translation, speech recognition, things like that. So next, robotics. And I think a lot of people, when you think of AI, you probably think of robotics, but you think of like automation for industrials, you think of car manufacturers, assembly lines. You also think of companies like maybe Intuitive Surgical. So 4 billion, that's the number of devices that will carry AI-powered voice assistants this year. So your voice assistant is AI-powered. Projected growth of AI software market, this is from 2016 to 2025. That's 1.4 billion to 59.8 billion. 15.7 trillion, that's the projected growth of the global GDP in 2030 as the result of AI. Again, 38% of US jobs could be at risk by 2030 because of AI. 62% top executives use AI to identify opportunities at their organizations. Then you think of like smart cities, so AI-enabled video cameras. This is 2020, it said 1 billion, so that number is probably much greater now. And then you think of things like autonomous vehicles, so 300,000 American lives are predicted to be saved every decade by AI-powered autonomous vehicles. So what kind of companies fit under autonomous vehicles? How can we capitalize there? So top 10 countries, the US, $10 billion in VC venture capital is being invested in AI. When you think venture capital right now, it's all about AI and decarbonization for the most part. China's number 2, Japan, you can see United Kingdom, Germany, France, Canada, Russia, Israel, Estonia. So how does this impact the industries? You think transport, so autonomous vehicles, robo taxis, workplace, robotics in manufacturing, automated safety checked in factories, better recruiting processes, education, checking for plagiarism. And ChatGPT is going to open a Pandora's box there. Even virtual teachers or lecturers could be a thing of the future. So communication, you think of spam filters on your email. I even think of cybersecurity companies. You think endpoint security, emotion analytics, real-time translation. So sports, I mean, this is huge. We think of wearables. If you watch an NFL game, you see like powered by AWS, Amazon Web Services. This receiver had a 13% chance of catching this pass. That's all driven by analytics, by AI. And I think you're going to see that more and more. So you think of media, automated journalism. They were using it in 2016 at the Washington Post for the Rio Olympics. Data analysis and so on. Healthcare, of course, you got autonomous surgical robots. You think probably Intuitive Surgical there. Drug discovery, virtual doctors, social networks to find photos, photo recognition, gaming. Agriculture. You think of like a John Deere. You can literally control your tractor by using an app, and you could be doing something else. I mean, it's really exciting when you think about agriculture. You think about robotics, robotic harvesters. You can use computer vision to monitor your crop and soil health, even predictive analysis. You think of digital twins, trying to figure out what the environmental impacts on crops will be, and even what the weather patterns are. Online shopping, this is bad because it knows what you want to buy, and so it's going to pop that up in front of you, and you have a higher chance of spending money you don't want to spend. Mobile, voice to text, hospitality, you got entertainment, real estate. You think of like, Zillow Group with client segmentation and targeted advertising. You got retail, insurance, especially with fraud detection. That's going to be a big part of AI. Smart homes, you think of like Google Nest, home security. You got banking and personal finance. Think of credit decisions, replacing the FICO score, things like that. So here you got aerospace, commercial flight autopilot. We'll see how that works. Politics and government, targeted campaigning, cybersecurity. Think CrowdStrike, SentinelOne, even Microsoft for incident detection and response. And then defense. This is huge. So you think of unmanned aerial vehicles, drones, civilian detection. So you're making sure you're focused on the right target. Wargaming, simulations, training. What kind of companies could benefit from that? So one more quick thing here. This is from Deloitte. And remember, guys, this is going to be 5 stock picks next. And then I'm going to have 5 stock picks tomorrow, same time. Make sure you subscribe. Click the bell for notifications. This is from Deloitte. We got big data, reasoning, problem solving, and learning. Now, I think this graphic is important because it kind of shows you from a granular level all the different topics under artificial intelligence. So you got robotics in motion, you got knowledge capture, you got supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning, you got technologies and platforms. So I think this is just a good visual to give you an idea of just how complex and large the universe is for artificial intelligence. I want to show you this slide because I think it's really important to give you an idea of the different segments when you think of artificial intelligence. Now, these are startups, so you can't invest in these companies. When you think of venture capital right now, they're very focused on AI. But if you look at these different segments, you got conversational AI bots, you got vision, you got auto, robotics, cybersecurity, business intelligence and analytics. What kind of stocks and companies can we invest in that fit under these segments? So they're showing you companies that are private companies you can't invest in, but what are some publicly traded companies that fit under these topics that we can invest in? Ad sales and CRM, core AI, healthcare, text analysis, Internet of Things, commerce, fintech, insurance, and other. I hope that overview was helpful for you just to have a better understanding about artificial intelligence and all the areas that it really covers and how diverse and broad the topic is. Now I'm going to get into 5 stock picks, and a reminder, there's going to be part 2 that's going to release tomorrow at the same time. So make sure you subscribe and click that bell to get notifications. And a reminder, these are high conviction, pick and shovel type plays for artificial intelligence. Let's get into the first stock pick. These are not in any particular order. Now when I think of pick and shovel, one of the first companies that comes to mind is Microsoft. Now, Microsoft is using AI across different segments of their business. Of course, the first one you think of is Microsoft Azure for their public cloud services. But also when you think of search analytics, when you think of Microsoft Office, when you think of their gaming segment, Microsoft is using AI in many ways. Now, I recently did a video on the channel that covers this in detail on Microsoft and ChatGPT. Microsoft is in talks to invest $10 billion into ChatGPT, which is owned by OpenAI. Now, this is big for a couple reasons. Number one, it puts a lot of pressure on the big competitors. You think of big cap tech like Google, when you think of search analytics and their AI technology, it puts pressure on them. It's going to press the envelope. These big dogs are going to be fighting and they're going to be jockeying for position. And that's really going to push AI forward over the next several years. The other thing that's really interesting about this is that ChatGPT is actually powered by Microsoft Azure. So every time you use ChatGPT, Microsoft is making a few pennies every single time. So it's a really smart move for Microsoft. So first stock is Microsoft, ticker MSFT. So now that you understand AI a little better, you know that it requires platforms. It requires a lot of data. So you think about companies that offer those platforms to process that data and make it useful for customers. When I think of data platforms, Palantir is one that comes to mind. This is consequential AI for the modern enterprise. And of course, Palantir has been focused on government for years, but they're getting more and more into the commercial segment. When you think about Palantir, it's really a backbone for artificial intelligence and machine learning, for organizations to take disparate data from across different parts of their organization, put it into one central repository, one dashboard to make that information, that data useful. Accelerate outcomes with a backbone, Palantir, for AI and machine learning modeling. So secure data foundation, deployment infrastructure, model objectives, Internet of Things, interoperability. This is a platform that many different segments and industries can use to harness the power of data and use artificial intelligence and machine learning. So the second stock, again, and not in any particular order, is Palantir, ticker is PLTR. So to piggyback off that, and you think of data platforms, analytics, big data, artificial intelligence is driving discovery and innovations across most industries. Many fields will be revolutionized by AI in the coming years. I think of Snowflake. This is one of the largest holdings in my portfolio. It's pretty expensive. It's a riskier stock, and it might be considered spec for you. Same with Palantir. Both Palantir and Snowflake might be spec for you and your risk tolerance. So right here, check out this sentence highlighted. Snowflake's platform was designed from the ground up to support machine learning and AI-driven data science applications. This is going to allow organizations to use data more effectively and efficiently, compile data from different parts of their business, and make use of that data. So the third stock, again, not in any particular order, is Snowflake, ticker is SNOW. Before I go on, I need to announce this video is sponsored by The Motley Fool. If you'd like to see the 10 best stocks to buy now, visit fool.com/firedupwealth. You can also check out our private community in Discord. It's patreon.com/firedupwealth. So this is a no-brainer, guys. You think of Alphabet, Google. They're using AI across multiple segments of their business, just like Microsoft is. You think of Google Nest. You think of digital assistants. You think of voice recognition software. You think of Google Translate. You think of YouTube even. But then on top of that, again, we're looking looking for pick and shovel plays. And so when you think of cloud services, you've got Amazon Web Services, you got Microsoft, you have Google Cloud Platform. So these guys also play in the public cloud services arena as well. Google's mission is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. That requires data, and it requires analytics, and it requires AI and machine learning. AI is helping us to do that in exciting new ways, solving problems for our users and our customers around the world. So the fourth stock is Alphabet, Google. You can buy two different types of shares. There's C shares, which is GOOG, and there's A shares, which is what I own, that's GOOGL. Now, when you think of the future of automotive, autonomous driving, robo taxis, the company that comes to mind for me is going to be, even though it's polarizing, there's a lot of drama around Elon Musk, it's going to be Tesla. And I look at Tesla as really a clean energy conglomerate. So not just autonomous vehicles. And the thing about it, guys, is a lot of people say it's just a car company. Well, I can tell you that most car companies are not doing what these guys are doing around artificial intelligence. They have an AI day every year. And in recent years, they started developing their own chips. So they're basically like a fabless semiconductor company, similar to an NVIDIA or an AMD. They design chips and they send it off to foundries like a Taiwan Semiconductor to produce those chips. So they have the FSD, the full self-driving chip, the Dojo chip, the Dojo system, got neural networks, and then someday there might even be Tesla bot. I know some people say it's really speculative. It might not ever happen, but it could happen, and it's something that they're working on, Tesla bot. So when I think of Tesla and I think of AI, this has to be included on a top 10. I do have high conviction in the company. You might not, but I do believe this is one of the top AI companies in the world. So that's 5 stock picks, and there's 5 more stock picks. There's a part 2 of this video. Now, if you're watching this and the video just released, you're gonna wanna subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you get notifications. That's gonna come out tomorrow. If you're watching this video a couple days later, I'm gonna put a card up. You can go right now and you can check out the next video and see the next 5 stock picks. I appreciate your time and attention, guys. Subscribe, like, comment. Have a great day. Take care.